There was like Hollywood resistance to that movie. Like people didn't like that you were making it seemed
No.
like.
Yeah, there was a lot of opposition to it.
On the final day of filming, on the fifth take of the last shot, a bolt of lightning struck Jim Caviezel directly in the head while he hung on a cross in southern Italy. Fire came out of both sides of his skull. The crew screamed, a sound Caviezel later compared to the noise people made watching the planes hit the towers. That lightning would damage his heart so badly he'd need open heart surgery.
It was a lightning strike. We got hit by lightning. I ended up having, 2 heart surgeries, including open heart.
He'd flatline on the operating table, and he'd come back. The man playing Jesus, struck by lightning, killed on a table, and resurrected. That's not a metaphor. That's not a legend that grew over time. That actually happened, documented, witnessed, and confirmed by the people standing right there when it hit. And it's only one piece of a story that Mel Gibson kept quiet for 20 years, until he sat down with Joe Rogan and revealed everything. The deeper truth behind The Passion of the Christ, why Hollywood tried to destroy it, what really happened on that set, and what's coming next that could shake the world all over again. Pay attention, because this hits hard. The $30 million gamble. Every major studio in Hollywood said no. Not maybe, not let's revisit this. No, flat out. Mel Gibson walked into room after room and pitched the concept. A film about the last 12 hours of Christ's life, shot in Aramaic, Latin, and Hebrew, dead languages, with subtitles, extreme violence, and an R rating. The response from every distributor was the same. You're out of your mind.
Because there's resistance, first of all, from secular Hollywood, where for whatever reason, Christianity is the one religion that you're allowed to disparage.
But here's the catch. The rejection wasn't just commercial. It was personal. Gibson told Rogan that, in Hollywood, Christianity is the one religion you're allowed to openly disparage. A sincere, unironic film about the suffering of Jesus Christ wasn't just risky. It was offensive to the people who control what gets made. Rogan himself pointed out the contradiction, an industry that prides itself on being open-minded with a glaring blind spot for one specific faith. And then came the anti-Semitism accusations. Before a single frame had been shown to the public, the Anti-Defamation League raised formal objections. Prominent voices in Jewish organizations publicly condemned the project. The debate got so loud, it nearly buried the film before it was born. Gibson didn't flinch. He said the film's message was universal responsibility, that Christ's suffering was for all of humanity, and he proved it with one detail most people miss. That hand you see driving the first nail into the cross, that's Gibson's hand. His actual hand, not an actor's. He put himself in the frame as the one doing the damage. A theological statement hidden in plain sight. We are all responsible. So, what did he do when the entire industry shut the door? He kicked it down. $30 million. His own money, every cent. A career-ending gamble if it failed. He assembled a crew, found locations in southern Italy, hired a dialogue coach to train actors in dead languages nobody had spoken in centuries, and partnered with Newmarket Films, a tiny independent distributor. Then he did something no studio executive saw coming. He screened the film for pastors, for church leaders, for congregations. He built word of mouth through communities Hollywood had never once thought to court. On February 25th, 2004, Ash Wednesday, The Passion of the Christ opened. $83.8 million opening weekend, $370 million domestic, $612 million worldwide, the most successful independent film in history, the highest grossing R-rated film in America at that time. Churches bought out entire theaters. People who hadn't seen a movie in years stood in line. Roger Ebert called it perhaps the most violent film he'd ever seen, but acknowledged its raw power and emotional gravity.